All right, put myself back on here.
All right, we should be ready to go. So
All right. Good
thank
afternoon,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Sorry about the delay. Technology was playing a game on us, and it continues to play a game on us. But thank you, Brian, for being here with us today. And thank you,
All
family
right.
members who are joining us. We will give everybody a few more minutes. I see still people hopping onto our presentation right now. And we will, again, have this live. If you see me turning my head, it's because I am also monitoring Facebook. Well, we will send it live in a few minutes. We've just been having a little difficulty with Facebook. I don't know, but we're here. So we're glad that you are joining us. And again, at the very end, you will have the opportunity to submit your questions through the Q&A button. And you will also have the opportunity
Oh,
to then let us know how we did when we send you the post-webinar survey. So without further ado, and in light that a lot of people are here, we would like to just let you go ahead and get started, Brian. Thank you for
all
being here.
right. And good afternoon, everyone. Just want to cover financial aid and answer any questions you may have. Going to go through a few slides with you just to go over the financial aid process, any changes, and then what I say about financial aid is always going to be specific to your needs. So always um, ask questions here, or even once you get started, we're here to help. So let's get started, and then any questions you have, definitely put them in the chat. All right. So first thing with financial aid, they have simplified this process. Honestly, like when I was in school, it was a paper process. So definitely showing my age, but it takes only about 20 minutes to complete the FAFSA. That's going to be a free application for federal student aid. You would go to studentaid.gov. This process normally takes about less than 20 minutes. The question is, which FAFSA should I complete? If you're enrolling as a new freshman or a transfer for the fall of 26, in fall, spring, and summer 27, you're going to submit a 26-27 FAFSA. I don't know if we have anyone that plans on starting in January. This coming up January, you're going to submit a 25-26 FAFSA. The 26-27 FAFSA became available October 1st, so it is available now for completion. All right, after you complete the FAFSA, the Department of Education will process your FAFSA within 3 to 5 business days. Students will receive an email when your results are ready to review. That's called a FAFSA submission summary. In this, you'll get your SAI, what you qualify for in loans. All that information will be on this confirmation page. You review that information, make any necessary corrections. The financial aid officer will let you know if there's any additional information needed. Approximately 22% of our applicants get selected for a process that we call verification. That may be identity verification, that may be tax information verification, but that's something once you're selected, we will reach out to you. So you're not wondering if you were selected. The FAFSA pops up codes, so we'll really reach out to you to go over that verification process. So you're not going through that by yourself. Official financial aid offers will be made for the fall of 26, beginning in February, or within a few days of completing your FAFSA application and submitting any additional requested information. So after February, we run this process weekly after February, but right now, if you complete a FAFSA, we'll have your information, but we will not be making any offers until February. All right. And so when it comes to financial aid, you're going to look into a few forms of federal aid. The three main categories are going to be your grants. Those are going to be funds you don't have to pay back. Federal work studies, student loans. Some aid are based on financial need, or others are not. Financial aid offers certain types of aid can vary from school to school. So your non-need-based aid is going to be your direct unsubsidized loans, Parent Plus loans, Teach Grant, Iraq, Afghanistan Service Grant. Your need-based aid is going to be Pell Grant, direct subsidized loans, federal work study. All right, so the first one we're going to look into is going to be your grants. Grants are need-based aid that are not required to be paid back. Pell Grant is awarded to students with a lower SAI, and I'll go into SAI, what that means later. Maximum eligible SAI for the 26-27 FAFSA is 14,790, but there's a minimum of negative 1,500. Award amounts vary from year to year based on a prorated, based on enrollment. So maximum fall and spring awards for the 26-27 award year in Pell Grant is 7,395. So with the Pell Grant, the maximum you could get for the year is going to be based on your student aid index. That's going to be based on your income each year. And it's going to be based on your income, your parents' income. The lower the SAI, the more Pell Grants you get. So in simple terms, the more income you make, the less Pell Grants you would get. So that's going to be, but you could be in a range from negative 1,500 to 14,790. So once you complete your FAFSA, you'll get an SAI and you'll know your Pell amount up front. All right, so work study. Work study is a need-based program that allows students to work on campus or certain off-campus jobs to earn funds to help pay for college expenses. This is a great way to experience work opportunities at a variety of jobs available on campus, any type of community service you may need for any type of groups you want to join in college, student affairs or research. Students are paid as they work and can earn up to $4,800 in work study funds available during the fall and spring semesters. Work study offers are made on the funds available basis. Students can request to be placed on a work study wait list. So with work study, we actually just hired four new people in our office. And the good thing about work study, there's a lot of places on campus, and depending on your major, you can work in the school. And it works around your schedule. So that is the main thing too. So we want to make it flexible for where you can work and go to school. But these funds can help pay for tuition. All right, so next thing we'll look into is going to be your direct student loans. Loans are money that students can borrow at a low interest rate from the federal government to help pay for college. And the good thing about the loans, there's no credit check involved or anything with the direct subsidized loans. And it's a low interest loans. There's no payments while you're in school. Your subsidized loans are going to be need-based. So that means they will not accrue any interest while enrolled at least half-time. Your direct unsubsidized loans are non-need based, which means they will pick up interest. They'll accrue interest after each disbursement. Things to keep in mind, you must be enrolled at least half-time. So it's going to be 6+ hours a semester. Repayment begins 6 months after graduation or when students are no longer enrolled at least half-time with a 10-year standard repayment period. And so that's the standard repayment period, but you can set your own repayment plans after graduation or after you're not enrolled for 6 months. The thing about that I always say is make sure you contact your loan servicer. That is going to be the best way because again, there are a number of plans out. There are a number of plans that are beneficial to students and borrowers. So just always keep that in open mind. Now, the standard plan that you're normally going to automatically be put on would be 10-year plan, but there are multiple options out there for you. All right, so for our parents, for our dependent students, students along that are dependent students that are under the age of 24, that do not have a child they support, and married or in active military. So at that point, if there is something that still needs to be covered, we would need to look into the Parent Plus loan if that's an option. It is a low interest loan. So it does allow parents to borrow for their undergraduate dependent students to help pay for any remaining college costs. So what's going to be the difference on it? It's still, you have to apply through studentloans.gov. It is a credit-based loan, so there will be a credit check involved. With that, it's still about a 5-minute check. You'll know if you qualify once you complete the credit check. If for any reason the parent does not qualify, there are denial funds, which you can get up to $4,000 additional for the year if the parent is denied. All right, so along with the FAFSA, once you complete it, there are circumstances if you want to appeal your FAFSA decision. That's to appeal if you're an independent student, or to appeal if you're going to get like Pell Grant or your SAI number. So the first thing we're going to look into is a special circumstance appeal. That is going to be reviewed to adjust your financial aid eligibility. You can find these documents on go.uab.edu/aid appeals. The first one is going to be the income reduction request. You could submit requested documents, upload requested supporting documentation. These special circumstances includes if there's death, divorce, loss of job or significant benefits, major medical expenses not covered by insurance. So an example of that is I had a student or students or just number of students, a lot of appeals come in. Just say if the parent may have either lost a job, a parent may have deceased or divorced, and the income is not in the family. So the FAFSA it wouldn't be a correct representation of the current income. So just say, for example, if parent had a 6-figure job and they got laid off, they either may not be working, or they say they come back and take a job that's significantly lower. That is information we could get the documentation for to prove. So we could get like a severance letter showing that they don't have the job anymore that's listed on the FAFSA for the income, and then just say we got a new check stub that's showing they're making significantly lower. We could calculate the actual income based on the new income, so that that is a new reflection from what's on the FAFSA, and we can update the FAFSA information that may qualify you for any type of need-based aid. That would be Pell Grant and subsidized loans. So we look at those all the time, and then with everything going on, that happens a lot. Dependency status is another one we're going to look into. Generally, students are considered a dependent unless they're 24 years of age, married, a veteran, or has a dependent that he or she provides half of their support for. So in that case, and just going back on the dependency status field, just say if both parents may be deceased, incarcerated, it may be an issue where the student may have gotten put out the house, or they came up in a group home, or any of those situations, you can actually do a dependency override. Now, if your parents are not willing to help, and even if your parents just don't want to fill out the FAFSA and you live on your own, that wouldn't be a case. It's going to be these extreme cases where, again, the student doesn't have any parental guidance in that case. All right. And for covering your cost, in most cases, institutional scholarships, federal financial aid will not cover all student expenses. In that case, we'll look into various options and other resources are available. Scholarships from third-party organizations. You go to go.uab.edu, external scholarships, to see what's out there. Educational assistance through an employer. Any type of employer. I know Amazon would do a lot. AT&T, those type of companies do educational assistance. Any type of veteran benefits. We definitely want to use any veteran benefits you have available. You could go to uab.edu/veterans, and we do have military services that will be able to assist you with that. And also you can look into private loans. That's you go to go.uab.edu/outloan. Any alternate loans, you can look into those, and then you can actually filter on that site what loan would be best for your situation. All right. So any questions, you could always reach out to my Department of Financial Aid or myself. under financial aid at uab.edu at 205-934-8223. All right.
Fantastic. Thank you. And so this has been information related to FAFSA and financial aid. And we know that FAFSA opened in October again this year. So we wanted to bring this to you so you get a refresher from what you may have heard at orientation or every year, even though I put myself in your shoes when I had to complete FAFSA for my students and help them complete it, actually. It was like I hadn't done it. I had done it before, but I needed a refresher. So if you have any questions at this time, please make sure you put them in the Q&A section. This is a wonderful opportunity for all of you to ask any of those questions that you may have. And also, if you have additional questions later, you can submit them to Brian to the email that he just showed you on. If you would, Brian, maybe put that slide again,
Yeah.
or just financial aid at UAB. uab.edu/financial aid will take you to the website. And again, if you have any questions at this time, please put them in the Q&A section. Sometimes questions come as you are going through looking at the form, or as you start the form, something may come up. You may also submit your questions to us at families@uab.edu, and we will be glad to send those questions over to Brian and to financial aid to help everything, navigate everything more smoothly. So I do see a couple questions coming through. I'm also looking at Facebook, so we were able to get it going on Facebook. I don't know, Facebook was having a moment, but if you have any questions, you can also put them up on Facebook, and we'll be glad to share them with Brian. So one of the questions is, when is the deadline for a returning student to complete FAFSA?
So right now, I would say there's no deadline, but since we're doing offers by February, I would say get it in as soon as possible. Again, like I said, the reason is this: if there's any type of verification, anything additional we need to do, we could get that done before we start doing offers.
Excellent. Thank you for submitting questions. I see a lot of questions coming in, so we'll take minutes to answer those questions. The other question is what are the salient differences between the FAFSA form this year versus the previous years? Is there a big difference?
Honestly, no difference, but there are some additional things that have changed during the FAFSA. So I'm actually going to show, give me 1 second. Let me stop this for a second. I'm going to pull up some of these changes. So with the changes so the FAFSA form itself is the same. So the major overhaul was last year, but a few things will change. So one of the things that will change is as loans. Loans will have the same process as Pell Grant has now, whereas before, for example, for returning students, and especially a lot of our graduate students, they may take half-time classes and take full-time loans and take the maximum loans available. Loans will now be prorated based on attendance. So that's a big thing now. So as for example, loans that were like for Pell Grant, if you're taking 6 hours, you don't get the full amount of Pell. Now you will get actually that same process with loans. So where students were getting, and this mainly affect, like I said, our graduate students that were getting like larger refunds because the tuition was lower, but they were taking the larger loans. Now those will be prorated. We're still waiting on those actual numbers on how that will be prorated. So that's one of the major changes. Another major change would be the Parent Plus loan. So the Parent Plus loan with those would be kept. They used to go up to cost of attendance. Now the maximum you could borrow for the year would be $20,000 for the year. So $20,000 for the year would be the max so that's between the fall and spring. Those are going to be your major changes that will affect you guys. But as for the actual application, it's the same. It's the same as last year. Hold on 1 second. I think you're muted.
All right. So it opened again in October. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because it used to be December, and so it's gone
Yeah.
back. And so I guess
Yeah.
this question also has to do with this. And do families need to wait for tax forms first?
No, because it's gonna be so it always last year was the year it moved to December just because they were doing an overhaul, but it always had been October. But no, because it's a prior year, so it's gonna take it's gonna take taxes from 2 years before. So
So
yeah,
it's
so
using the
yeah,
previous
so
tax forms.
yeah, so it's gonna use your previous tax form. So the good thing about that, and that's why we get a lot of appeals, because things may have changed from that previous tax form to the time you're filling it out.
Great. So get going. Let's
Yeah,
get
so
yeah.
go ahead and
Yeah.
get it in now. And like I
Yeah.
said, if there's anything that changed as far as the income, let's go ahead and start an appeal so we can get that out the way as well.
Yeah, and this will take us to a future question that's coming up on our queue, which is when does the FAFSA portal open? It is open
It's open
already, so
now,
you can go
correct.
ahead and submit and start working on the FAFSA, your student. How do students qualify for work study, or what are the
So
qualifications?
So normally it's going to be need based. So normally every student that's qualified with the SAI, we go ahead and actually add the work study piece to it, even if you don't ask for it or not, because there's not before on the FAFSA there was a checkbox for work study that is removed now. So we just any student that qualifies, we're going to add it, and then we come back and clean it up probably once classes start if you don't want it. But
Is
if you do not see it on your award offer, just ask, and then we can review and see if you qualify.
awesome. Does it make any difference whether the family is in state or out of state when completing FAFSA?
It doesn't. The only thing is, the FAFSA is gonna pick it up because there are certain grants. There's the Alabama grant that you qualify for if you're in the state of Alabama based on your SAI. So it'll pick all that up. So but it wouldn't matter. It'll be the same.
Okay. So Be Smart and its effect on financial aid opportunities. Current students, are there any additional opportunities for other scholarships?
Yeah, I would say always check Be Smart, reach out to scholarships, see what's out there. Always, if you're in a particular school, check with your actual school, because a lot of the scholarships comes from the actual program. So
Okay.
yes. So
So
I
how
always
do,
say check that always first and check it early, because
okay.
a lot of those scholarships have deadlines.
And that's a key, and that's why we wanted to have this webinar early on in
Yeah,
October, because money is usually
yeah.
gets gone. So
Because
how does
they're working on
yeah.
some scholarships now. So
Yeah, yeah. So the question from this family member is, how do I get a loan for my child's remaining balance?
so if you want to do like a Parent Plus loan, is that question? So with the Parent Plus loan, I always say get your offer first and see what's remaining, and then you could do the loan application. And it's just like the FAFSA. It takes probably a few minutes to do the actual credit application on studentaid.gov. And then we review those once those come in. But you'll get your answer as soon as you complete the application if you qualify. And then once that loan comes in to us, it probably takes about 48 hours from the time you complete it to get to the school, and then we'll start awarding the actual Parent Plus loans as well.
And thank you everybody for your questions. And we still have a few more. And so the other question from a family member, great question, is do we have to fill out FAFSA every year if our student didn't qualify or need financial aid? And does it matter
I
or does
was
it
I
need to be filled?
I would say so, just based on because it's again the criteria may change or income may change. So I would say it's beneficial to fill it out every year just to have it on file. Because if anything, you're always going to qualify for loans unless the loan is in default or anything from the student or the parent. Well, from the student. So you always qualify for loans. It's always to see what you're going to get for, and that's just if you want to take out the loan, you have that choice. So But as far as the grants, that can also change too, because income can change. The criteria may change from year to year. So always beneficial to go ahead and fill out a FAFSA each year.
It doesn't affect families in any way to
No,
complete
it doesn't.
FAFSA.
It does not.
All right, awesome. Are they considering if you have multiple students in college at the same time when
Yes.
calculating need for the year?
Yes, correct. So it's going to ask your household size and then the number in college. So it would take that in consideration.
Is FAFSA required for Be Smart? And can you maybe explain what Be Smart is for those family members who are here who may not know?
Yeah. And let me pull up this more information. 1 second. But yeah, it's normally not, because some students may not even be using FAFSA but Be Smart basically it's an in-house website to where it awards UAB scholarships. So always see what's out there and Be Smart, put your information out there so you can get awarded. And so that's going to be for all your in-house UAB scholarships. And now if you're looking for outside scholarships, you could always do other research, but Be Smart is our system.
Is Be Smart only for Alabama residents?
It's for as long as you had to be registered to have an actual B number. So that's the only thing, is you do have to be registered. So if
Okay.
you're just kind of searching before, it won't work, it won't work the same, I would say.
Okay, awesome. And then we have one other question that just came in. The Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant was stated to be offered to all students who were residents of Alabama in years
So
past. Is that not the case anymore?
so that one is up in the air with the new legislation. It may be going away. It may be. We're not sure yet.
Okay.
So yeah, that's one. So right now we have what we call the Alabama State Grant. That's for for Alabama students. So the supplemental grant, that's for any student. So we have the ASAP award. That's still going on. I don't see that going away. We still have funding for that. But for the supplemental grant, that's one that's kind of on the docket. We won't know probably till like first of the year. We have it this year. So we do have it this year. It's fully awarded, but that's for any student, and that's going to be a need-based grant. So that's still tied to the SAI. So if you get full Pell Grant, you can qualify for that supplemental grant as well.
Awesome. Very helpful information. And so thank you all for your questions. And please keep them coming. I think we do have a few more
Yeah.
minutes. Is Be Smart to be completed by the student, the parents, or both?
Student. Yeah.
Same thing with FAFSA, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
a parent section, but
There's a parent, yeah. Student has to fill a portion out, parents have a section. So
and parents do need to have their own for FAFSA, their own
FSAID.
FSAID. Okay.
Yeah, and if you don't have one, it'll allow you to create one. So yeah, so it's kind of it sends you like a link to do everything. So it's much simpler now. That was one of the things they did with overhaul last year, was the FAFSA simplification. So once the student puts in the information, gets the email, it'll send a link to the parent, to an invite, so they can start putting in their information.
Fantastic. So this is great information. And again, I'm looking to my other screens to see if there's any other questions that have come in through our Facebook page, but we don't have any. So we do appreciate that you have joined us today. We are very grateful that you have sent in your questions. We hope this webinar has given you some information about FAFSA and how to get going, and just, that energy that you need to get that
Yes.
completed as soon as possible. If you have additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to financial aid here at UAB. And again, our presenter today was Brian Kimbrough, and we really appreciate the fact that Brian joined us today and that you all joined us as well. I do see one last question coming in.
Okay.
This is about the ASAP grant or supplemental grant, and where do they apply for this?
They don't have to apply. So if you're a resident of Alabama and you have, if you meet the criteria, which enrolled at least half time, passing SAP, which is your academic status, and then if you meet the criteria for the SAI, we'll start awarding that. Now it's limited funds. Sometimes you may want to ask because it's kind of round robin awarded. But we do the lowest SAIs first. That'll be your negative 1500s. So we'll start awarding that once we get to go. So probably normally those don't come out with the original offer because we actually have to get the funds first and everything. So we actually in the process of awarding that for the fall and the spring right now. So yeah, we just got an invoice and everything, but we do have that is a limited amount of funds for those. So and we get a new batch every year. Now for the supplemental grant, kind of the same thing. We could start awarding that a little bit earlier. But it will be after the summer. Once the new award year. So you won't see those on your original offers.
Okay, and I know this is a question for the future, but a lot of families ask when is financial aid dispersed? Because a lot of them are asked, they think they apply, they get it, and so
first day of class.
yes, so that's
yes.
something to keep in mind. No, so
Yeah.
I know we get a lot of questions.
And so yeah, it's like clockwork. So we have a pretty good system for that.
All
And
right.
so you can go on BlazerNet and see your anticipated aid a few days before, probably like a week before classes start, to make sure everything. Always BlazerNet is your friend. You see your full balance, what comes in, what's charged, everything on BlazerNet.
Yes, and so make sure that you are aware of BlazerNet. I know that a lot of families are looking at the Family Hub as well. So the Family Hub will send you information and notices once your student has approved your request to be able to have some financial information and academic information. But always BlazerNet is the place to go because it has exactly what your student can see.
Yeah, and that's where you approve your financial aid offers, everything through BlazerNet.
Yes. But I do want to again thank everybody for being here today. And remember, we're here in this journey with you guys. So
good luck.
if there's anything else we can do for you, again, we will be sending a short survey after this presentation. And then stay tuned for the upcoming webinar in November, which will be very interesting to support your students and yours health and well-being. So thank you, Brian, for being here with us today. And thank you, everybody. And again, this will be recorded and will be available to watch again on Facebook. And then in about a week, it will be uploaded to our website, uab.edu/family. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you soon.